actually fell. I'm not gonna lie. That's what it feels like. It feels crazy. After a few people fell, I'm trying to stay as sturdy as possible. As sturdy as possible. I played basketball. How y'all doing, my ride and die supporters? I pray everyone is doing blessed and well on this Sunday, giving thanks to God from whom all blessings flow. I'm just feeling so wonderful right now. God is so good. He always giving me a new anointing every single day that I go through this journey, which we call life. And the things that I see, things that I prophesize about, and I try to bring here to you and be a blessing to you as well, and to be a blessing to others. Now, I see my numbers have declined from subscribers from the discussions I've been having about Travis Scott, but that's okay because the devil is always busy. My channel is built on Jesus, blood, and righteousness. And I don't condone ignorance, and I don't condone reckless behavior. I don't care who you are, whether you red, green, purple, black, whatever. I serve nobody but him. And if God got a message on to give to me, to give to you, that's what I gotta do. Sometimes it ain't gonna feel good, but if you out there, you be back anyway, because that's how it always is. So let me get started here. Okay. First, we're going to start with the Travis Scott story, since that's the trending hot topic that is on these YouTube streets and Twitter and everywhere, okay, on social media. So I'm just talking about, like, yesterday I've been ripping into him. I've been setting fire to him because of his disobedience and his recklessness, and how he has been, whether he know it or not, harming the youth, the other youth, the youth in this generation. Every day, a young body is being pulled out. In the city of Wilmington, where I'm at, I don't live in Wilmington, but I serve in that community. I work in that community, and I go to church in that community to do what I can do for the women, for the mothers and children in the community, and bringing the children back to Christ, and trying to win souls over to the Lord, and trying to get families to reconcile children to their fathers, and also that we start to bring children up on the right way he or she should go. And we have to put some things away and start hearing what God is trying to say to us. We are living in a dying world. When our youth are dying out like that, it's trouble. And if our youth are sending out these messages to people to hurt other people, God is not pleased with what he's been seeing. He gave us COVID. I mean, COVID was a time for us to just take some time out, social distance yourself, stop doing all that hanging out, partying, and wilding out, and doing all of these. The young is just out of control. Okay, just put it this way: house homes are out of control. You got grandmothers out here partying. I'm on my social media account. Some of these women my age, they were out here dating kids that old enough to be their children. They dating young men, and the age ain't nothing but a young man this and young man that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got kids, daughters, and sons the same age as the men they're dating, or the woman. You know how things are today. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, it's just a whole mess out here. We got to bring some things back the old school way. And I'm old enough to be that young man, Travis Scott. I'm old enough to be his mama. And he should know better, being that he is from, I would say, the black community. I would just say the black community. This foolishness has just got to stop. Stop allowing the devil to play you in his playground. When people are putting you out to do a concert in a place, and they're going to book it for a capacity of 50,000 people, you question that. And then you're going to be like, who's else going to be performing at this festival? I don't want to be out there alone and be responsible for 50,000 fans or 50,000 people, because some may not even come and be fans. Did anybody learn anything about the greats, the greats? And I'm talking about like when you're doing music and stuff, you could see how they rise and they fall was. There's some things when you go into this industry and you learn as you go along, of course, sometimes you got to learn things on hand, and that's understandable. But during a COVID season, if somebody's booking me and they talking about, well, we're going to do this show, it's going to go on, but the capacity we had it at was, since the stadium, the stadium or the festival could at least fit 50,000 people in there. I mean, I'm sorry. If the stadium can fit 200,000 people in there, but we just gonna cut it down to 50,000, and this is gonna be blase. The the amount of money that we gonna put out there in case there be any death or accidental incidents that may happen. We gonna take out a policy, whatever. I'm just saying to the young people, the performers, entertainers, and all that other stuff. Sometimes a bad thing happening to you is not always a bad thing. It's a good thing. God is trying to get your attention. Your foolishness, Travis, has been going on for a long time, but thank God it's been caught at the age that you are. That's the blessing in this whole thing. The age that you are, Travis, what are you, 20, what, 5 maybe, 24, 25? I don't know. I don't even know how old you are. I ain't got my phone here to Google whatever. If somebody's out here listening, please put it in the chat for me. But whatever the age that you are, young man, that's the blessing. That's now, take heed. God delivering you from this mess. God wants to do a new thing in your life for you. He don't want you to be out here letting the devil keep playing you, selling your people out there this image that you're playing in the entertainment world, when we got nothing but Black young men losing their lives every day in the urban cities over some of this destructive music that y'all do. And not only just the destructive music, but the destructive behavior. Okay. Because what you did in the past, people are still looking at your past. Even when you're trying to make a change to correct that behavior and you still in this genre of music, they still going to use this against you. And it's going to stick with you for life. And I'm just going, whatever we do, people don't forget. God forgives, but man and woman or whatever don't ever look at it and look past all it, especially if they actually saw your actions and they witnessed this behavior of you before and everything. They feel a leopard don't change their spot. God washes us clean and give us chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. But I'm going to get into some testimonies too that I heard today on my way home from church, because I didn't use my car today and I didn't ask my husband to take me to church today. I actually called for for a Lyft, Uber ride, whatever, to take me to service today, because I just didn't feel like driving today, and I didn't feel like disturbing my husband to take me, so I just went on my own, and that's the way I did. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I just want to take public transportation. I just want to be out there talking to people, and especially about these things that's going on now, about what happened with Travis Scott, things that had happened with Barbara Sylvester Kelly. And I also put Whitney Spears in here, hashtag Britney Spears, I'm sorry, on this as well. Because even though, she don't belong to this community or whatever, she's still in the entertainment world. And some things that had happened to her in her past and her career when she was a young girl and everything, and she was getting all messed up. And these people almost led this girl to suicide. Okay, Britney Spears And that poor young girl, every time you popped up, they were taking her child away from her. She was just out there just losing her mind. And if you go way back and when her time, back in her time, what Britney should be now in her 30s or whatever. I haven't been keeping up too much. But I'm just saying, like, I could remember when that little girl, I'm gonna say little girl because she was a little teenager then. She was very young, she was a young girl, and she was idle and everything else like that. But she had a very troubled past. Her life was very troubled, and she went through a lot. And this industry didn't do her. They almost drove this girl to suicide. Okay, Britney Spears. And I could remember because I was like in my 20s then, and I think she was like I was in my late 20s or maybe early 30s. I'm not sure, but Britney Spears was the hot idol, female top, little idol and everything. But I know she was going through a whole crazy crisis in her life. And somehow or the other, her father now, and her father took over some of her watching over her money and whatever. And now her father, it turned on her father to be the bad guy. I didn't get all into the details of her story, but somebody today on my Facebook page posted what's going on about Britney Spears, and I just took a glimpse at it. I didn't get too much in details, and I saw it trending too here on YouTube, but I didn't really bother. But I just saw her name, and I was like, this young lady back again. I'm surprised she even survived because of what she was going through. But moving on, so now and everything, she's back and out of being conservative and everything else like this. And I'm just gonna say like this: when God deliver you from foolishness of a place where these people were actually trying to drive you to your grave, and God deliver you from something, you don't come back. You stay away and you turn your life to Him now. You give Him your life and you let Him be the head of your life from now on. You give your heart, your mind, your all to Jesus, because that is a place of safety for you from these demons in the world that were trying to kill you, drive you to your death. Of what they did to that little girl. She was a little girl to me. She's a teenager. She was a small young child. I was like a 30 years old woman, maybe my late 20s to my 30s. But I do remember the things that was happening at the time with her. And she wanted to clean her life up and get herself together. And she turned her custody over her child. I don't know who the child. I think maybe the child was in custody of its father, or maybe in the custody of her parents or whatever. But she was going through a lot, riding the baby on a bicycle without a helmet, and she was driving crazy and getting in all kind of mess because she was so stoned all the time. And it was just a lot of things bad happening with her back then. And she cleaned her life up, and now she turned on that, and she going back into this world with these entertainers. I don't know if she ever left, but still in all, I don't know. I don't understand these people that been through that kind of hell in that kind of industry, and they know what it's all about, and they go back. They go back. You're not supposed to go back. You said, I give it up. I surrender all. And I surrender to Jesus. All of this, it's like, what's so hard to give your life up for Jesus that you want to live a better life? You want to live a life more abundantly, more with joy and some peace, which pass with all understanding, peace and joy. I don't know how to explain it to people that don't want to give their life to the Lord. There's nothing wrong with it. You can have a full life, and the best life you can have is your peace, having your peace. So, anyway, so moving on about Britney Spears. Now, I'm saying about for Robert Sylvester Kelly, through all he went through, this, that, and the other. When God says stay away from something, He deliver you from something, you don't go back. Or the pain is going to be greater than it was before. Now, do you hear me? The pain is going to be greater than it was before. See, when R. Kelly was
delivered from, that trial he was in 2008. I believe he had that acquittal. I didn't think R. Kelly was supposed to come back and sing certain types of songs anymore. I think God wanted him to stay away from that. Now, if he wanted to do something, he was supposed to do something to help build the kingdom. Because you could hear in a lot of his music, he was struggling with which way he should go. Should he go with gospel or should he go with secular music and the kind of music he was making? When God delivered him, God didn't want him to go back to that same kind of music. So don't keep letting the devil use you and play you in his playground. Sometimes you got to just take some time out and hear God. I said about Travis Scott, he is the blessing of it all is that he's still young. And he's been told about his behavior before, and signs were there before. But he paid no attention to them signs because he was so stoned all the time and doing drugs and messing with this little, whatever her name is, giving her babies and everything, where she was playing him. Don't be the devil's playground. This girl is playing Travis. There's no real true connection of love there. I mean, I'm talking about real genuine love. Even playing the children. Let me tell you something about what I studied about this family so far. I ain't no fan, and I don't watch the show and none of that, which I think should be canceled. Stop making money. Well, anyway, but like I said, this girl, Kylie, this 24-year-old Kylie, this is the family business. They find the stupidest, most uneducated, okay, money making. And I was just saying this to the driver that was taking me to church this morning. He was like, you know what? You so right. And he's from Morocco. But he was like telling me, he said, everything you saying is true. Everything you saying is true. These women play on the lowest esteem, but with money. The lowest esteemed black man who don't know nothing about money. Okay? He doesn't know nothing. His head is, he's lost. He's a lost soul. He's just lost. And all he's stuck on is this thing that, when you go into this life with this culture of these kind of people, they already learned the business, the family business. If this black man Travis, the young little artist Travis, this he has a very, reputation of, like I said, inciting violence in concerts, and a lot of youth follow him, a lot of youth listen to him, and McDonald's picked him up, to sell this image, this negative, ugly, stereotypical image of African American men, thugs, gangbangers, baby makers. They popping babies with baby mamas all over the place. They don't want to take no responsibility as being an adult man. They still hanging on to their little boyish ways, their little childish ways or whatever. Look at this. They're married and not, they got a baby together, but they're not married. They're not married. And the whole thing is as long as they could catch him at that point of his career, at the, which they call again, when a person, somebody help me out in the chat. If anybody come in the chat, please help me with this one. At the time when he's just climbing in the beginning of his career and he's making all this money and this, that, and the other. So she was already pushed on him in the business to get him. Make sure you have some investment there. The investment with the children. Have a baby with him, maybe two. You know what I'm saying? So that if he make it, and even if he fail and he have any assets there, you come to get it for the, you see what I'm saying? It's like a game. It's a setup. It's like, even if Travis and her break up, she still have an investment there for her. Some money that's going to come to her. His royalties for whatever it is going to come to her because it's going to come through the children. It's the setup. It's the game. He probably thought he was going to ride with these Kardashians and he was going to come and get her money. But that's not how they play. They don't come to let you take their money. How you think they made it so big? They father prostituted them throughout the whole damn business. He prostituted his daughters. The oldest game and always will be the most whatever game in life is prostitution. And it's called at the highest level of prostitution. It's one of the highest levels of prostitution. And it's not illegal for what they're doing. That they go around going after. Everybody money they come for is mostly all these little stupid little rap bangers, these little rappers, these little, dumbass, uneducated, don't got no sense in their head, black men. Because they the easiest one to fall for the trap. Because before they even get their own kind there, they rather go to the other side. You know what I'm saying? That's how they get into the trouble that they get into. And then we, as the black woman, always got to come to save them. When they kept us back on our back, struggling and abandon us and everything, but then they want us to come save them when their ass is in trouble. Excuse my language, Lord, forgive me. You know where this is coming from. You gotta watch the game, okay? So, like I said, Travis is still young, and there's still a chance for him, but he gotta turn his life over to Jesus. Don't let the devil keep playing you in his playground and using his women, deceitful, selfish, and self-absorbed, and they beauty. It says the adulterous woman. Proverbs. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm only coming hard at Travis because he's like my son. And I'm not going to condone that behavior. So if she left you in the middle of the night, just let it know that it's God got his hands on this. He's doing the separation to give you some time to talk, to see his face, to talk to him. It's a good thing if she's gone. And don't look back. Let her go. Let her go. Don't go back. If these rumors that are circulating are true, that this young lady left you in the middle of the night, or she took her butt to Tallahassee or wherever she went and left you on her jet plane, her little pink plane or whatever she was driving on. If she gone, let her go. And get yourself together. Handle your business with the Lord. It's up to you now. Because God, after a while, he turned you over to a reprobate mind. Robert Sylvester Kelly this is the time the Lord just needs to use him for a little while. He's going to come out of this crisis with victory. Okay? Because there was warnings and signs for him as well in his youth. When he got delivered from before of that DVD or CD or whatever it was, that tape, and he was on trial for all of that stuff, And when God separated him from these people, and he went through that discipline before, right then and there, he should have just turned it all over to Jesus and just gave up that life, and just, he could have still been making great songs and being popular and everything else, even in the gospel category, even though we know that people be getting messy in there too. But I mean, like, really turned his life over to Jesus. And God had to get him to a place where he had to get him in the middle of his life. Because he's not as young, because, look at all the years of his youth. But he's done some great music now. But he had his struggles with it. Between his life with, turning his life over to the Lord, and having a life still out here in the world. He had one foot in and one foot out. You know what I'm saying? But now he's going to go all the way. I ain't looking forward to R.Kelly getting back on nobody's stage doing no performance, unless he's just going to be a guest appearance and he show up and do a perform a song or whatever. But he probably going to pick something more of a clean song to perform. He probably is not going to use that bump and grind and all that other stuff. Your body's calling and stuff. He's going to leave those songs. They going to be there, but they not going to be the ones he going to sing. Just put it that way. Because sometimes you got to be careful what kind of music you send, the message you send in your music, because it will bring certain spirits to you. Just like Travis with the violence and that auditorium. I don't even know what they saying anyway. But from the crowd of people that came to his concerts, and for the behavior that goes on in their concerts, just tells me what kind of music it is. For the people, the young people, to be going as crazy and doing the crazy things that they were doing and end up losing their lives, that they would actually pay a ticket to their death to see Travis Scott. The things that music can influence young people to do. That's why you got to be careful. So if God delivered you, Travis, look at this as a good thing. You're still a very young man, and all you got to do is come and say, I can't do this life no more. But God got you. God is your shield and your protector. He says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run in and they are safe. Safe. It may seem a little scary through your crisis. It may seem a little like it's not going to end, but it will. But you got to come to get that understanding with God of what he's trying to tell you. Remember in the song In the Color Purple? God is trying to tell you something. Okay? Trying to tell all of us something. And especially to our young people. Britney Spears, God delivered you out of that mess. But you know what? I just say this because I remember what she went through. She's not from this community, but she's in like I said, the entertainment world. And I remember when she was coming up in her youth and everything. She was a teen idol, an idol back in the days for young girls who wilded out, whatever she was doing with her music. Wasn't no Britney Spears fan, but I just used to hear all the gossip and everything that was going on in her time at that time. And God delivered you from that. So why are you going back? Why are you going back? Move on. Move forward. Now you're dragging your father. I wouldn't even be putting my daddy in. That's something me and him would have to deal with behind closed doors. And we just make our part and say, well, this is family business and nobody else need to be in it. Simple as that. Whatever y'all going to do. Okay? So anyway, let me move on about what happened in church today. Like when I went to church today, I came to one of the youth pastors after the service and everything. And I greeted her because I know my sister Shamika is her name, Shakima Shamika. Hey, how you doing? I wouldn't even say thank you for for Travis. These people wouldn't be on TV. I would be saying, I'm more concerned. All right, the dead, they gone. Whatever happened, it happened already. Travis is going to do his payouts. Travis now, he learned his lesson. Hopefully he learned his lesson. Don't get up there and be responsible for 50,000 people and do a show all by yourself. Live Nation probably, as soon as they heard what was going on, they was already at that hospital. They was already talking to families. How much money you gonna get? You need whatever. We gonna cover your medical expenses for the hospital, and they made their deals already. They already had them lawyers. They already had whoever there, litigators, whatever, at the hospital taking care of whatever they had to take care of for that 26 million to cover, you know, those families, those people. But as far as for Travis, I don't know how much he has covered in the deal or whatever like that. But as soon as they knew it was going to happen, because the thing is that people don't understand about COVID is also being safe, is being safe with your money as well. Because if you notice, when COVID happened, a lot of prices started jacking up because people knew they were going to lose a lot of business because of COVID. So people try to double everything up. It's the price. Oh my God, I took this class and I haven't used, when you don't use something, you lose it. But I already know about the game. Okay, this COVID happened, so people want to protect their money and people want to continue to don't know how long this crisis, this whole COVID thing was going to go on. But they also double the price on things. If you went in the store to buy something when you used to pay $5 for it, it on jacked up to $10. Then they started making things like essential things people were running out of and talking about you got to go get. So they was making money on that. Toilet paper. People couldn't get paper towels, sanitizer, all the things that was essential for people to get. People were even going crazy. It was on a demand, like masks and all this other stuff that people don't usually use was starting to sell on the market so high. To go in the store and get a box of masks right now is like hitting you like almost $25 or whatever. When these boxes of masks, when they used to not be selling in the pharmacies and stuff like that, be sitting there for days and days and days, and the price be like $5 or something like that. All of a sudden now, why now it's $25 for a box of mask? A disposable mask. They're about $15, you would say. And that depends on what state you live in. Every state is different with their sale prices and sales tax or whatever. But I'm just saying a lot of things went up higher than what it used to be. Even food. You go in this supermarket, I remember getting a little package of chicken wings, maybe like no more than $6 or whatever. I'm looking at a little pack of chicken wings in farmer's market right now for like almost close to $20. And how many wings are in there? Small little goddamn wing for a good, like, it's ridiculous. Everybody jacked their price up. So this COVID thing and Travis taking this concert and everything, he needed to do some math in business. Okay. He needed to learn some marketing skills, some business skills, some economic skills, and all that stuff. When you dealing with 50,000 people to be in a performance of coming to your, performance, and you know that even there is going to be some riots going to break out, and it's going to be a crowd, and crazy people acting crazy, and these teenagers that may be drinking, maybe using drugs. I'm talking about the bad ones who were there, not everybody that I'm saying was bad that was there. Some of them, like I said, was there for a work study. They were there to come and study his work, about engineering and music, engineering and concerts or whatever like that. Some people were there to study behavior in certain environments and how these things can occur. Some people were even there to study the artist. So, people were just there for whatever reasons they were there for. There was lives that got snuffed out. Okay. And as for the young lady, Bahati Sahani, that's going to be Travis need to hold off on that one. And the reason why I say Travis need to hold off on that one, as far as Bahati Sahani, not saying this, he don't have to be sympathetic and whatever and show some empathy or some compassion for her loss. But when I was looking at the video, when they was getting this girl, they dropped her. The EMT people dropped her. And I seen her head, and they picked her up like a doll, back, like a rag doll, like, and threw her back on the gurney or whatever like that. So I don't know what was her reasons. Maybe she had some health issues before she went to the concert, and she didn't realize that she didn't think that the concert could have got out of control. But they still under invest. This concert is still kind of under investigation, because there's some people going to be filing some false claims that were there. Only thing I'm just looking at as far as with Travis is, why would you do this concert alone by yourself? Talking about you couldn't stop the concert and you had to get approval from blah, blah, but you're there. You're the one on the stage. You're the one who hear the sirens, and you're the one who see the firemen and the police cars, and you saw the body, that the person that was passed out. Use your common sense. Don't let the devil play you. They got on stage. Travis Scott is on stage. That's who you need to be looking out for. Be like, I don't care what they say. We stopping this motherfucking show tonight because things are getting out of control, and I don't want this on me. I would have did something like that. We gonna stop the show. You gonna wait for them when you don't know where they at. He said only 2 people could have been able to stop the show or whatever like that. And of course, the guy had, who's probably, maybe they were sitting back at home or somewhere, chilling in the back room somewhere watching the show. And I don't know what they doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about all what people do. But if you are a person standing there on your own and you by yourself, you do what's right for you. That's all I'm saying. But I know there's a lot of claims that people going to be claiming, and they going to make up, oh, this and that happened, blah, 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 blah. As the story unfolds and all this, an investigation goes on or whatever, this, that, and the other, the truth eventually will reveal itself. But as far as my concerns is this 50,000, the behavior of Travis. That's the only thing I'm on as far as for Travis and everything, is his behavior. What his behavior actually influences on young people, and his music or whatever. He needs to, take some time out and give himself to God and allow God to be the head of his life and give him some direction. And as far as for that Kylie thing, that girl don't love you. Ain't no way you gonna tell me she love you. Them kids was an investment on the family to get your money, okay? Because that's their game. That's how them Kardashian sisters play. They go to the next highest bidder, and they know how to play on black men that just don't really have a clue. Because I always tell these black men, until you get one of your sisters there first, then you could go play with the rest of them. But make sure you take one of your sisters to the top with you first. Take care of your home first. Like God said, even Christ said it. You got to take care of your people first, and then you could take care of the other people. Charity at home first. You and your black woman, your queen, whatever. And that goes for everybody. That goes for everybody, not just only black people, but in this game in capital here in the United States of America, which is all about money. And when you want to make it to the top, you take one of your own first. Then you could go play with the rest, because that's what they do. You think they would ever marry a royalty, will ever marry a black woman first before he decides he want to leave his white wife or whatever and go marry a sister? We saw the movie. What's that movie that Tyler Perry did? That movie was deep. People don't get it. So Travis, you know what? You good though. At least you didn't marry her, but she got them kids with you, and you know how they gonna play on that one, right? Whatever the firstborn children he had gets the first, whatever, cut to your royalties. The firstborn. Yeah, they gonna find it in the law. I don't know if he got any other kids out there that he had before he got with Kylie. I don't know. These young boys, they be moving kind of fast. But like I said, I'm just praying for the young man. I pray that this young man will come through. Yes, I had to set some fire to his little behind because he was just so out of control. And I don't condone that behavior, especially from coming from our children. And he want to play with them Kardashians and this, that, and the other. And those women are straight up Jezebels, straight up sluts, wicked, and everything else. And they've been playing on black men forever. Okay? Forever. So I had to set fire to him to get him on his right path. Get off the weed, get off the bourbon or the Hennessy or whatever you hypnotic or whatever the hell you be drinking and intoxicating yourself with and putting into your body, those substances that's got your mind all scrambled. Get focused. Get focused. Okay. I'm done with him. But as I said with R.Kelly, he's going to pull through this. I was in church today. I was lifting up a prayer for him. You know, as the brother led in us in prayer this morning to encourage us. And R.Kelly was one of the brothers I put on the prayer list. And I was there. And, you know, I have no shame about talking about R.Kelly. You know, he needs prayer. He needs love just like anybody else. And regardless to what his past is, we all have a past. Like I always say, we ain't nothing but a bunch of filthy rags. But I'm not going to stay on this live for a whole 24 hours just talking about R. Kelly. I have to put some other stories in there as well and things that are trending as well. You know, like topics I know is going out of control in the world of black entertainment or whatever. So Travis was one of the hottest topics that's trending, and he's a young black man. And they say he's very wealthy, and Travis don't own much of nothing. He don't own nothing. These people had their investments in Travis, and I don't know how it all go, but I just know that all that money that's there ain't Travis. Okay, it wasn't Travis money, you know. So I'm just saying, you better check to get his DNA checked too, and see if them babies belong to him too. Anyway, y'all, take that shit to paternity court. That's another issue. But anyway, y'all, before he give up anything, just say, hey, I want a paternity test. You know how Hollywood people are. You know this girl ain't been faithful to you in some kind of way. You know, looking for her next trick. But anyway, y'all, your girl Casey, I got to get out of here. Y'all have a blessed, wonderful, happy Sunday. And I think I have to check into another live, maybe, hopefully going on. So you all be blessed. Love you. Peace.